kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Hello race fans and welcome to Sim Racing Media. We are live here at the virtual Five Flags Speedway for the virtual American Short Track Tour. We are getting ready for the Blackjack Snowball Derby, 150 laps at one of the most iconic short tracks located in Florida. I am Liam Irving, joined up in the booth by Corey B. And Corey, I tell you what, we've got ourselves a phenomenal show on hand.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it, man. Looking forward to it. We got a good 23 cars signed in here tonight.
Yeah, 23 cars, which means that everybody should be able to make it into the feature unless a couple more guys join up. But everybody should be into the feature, leaving the last chance qualifier is kind of a moot point. But the way that this race, or this racing series goes, we've got two 15-lap heats where the top 10 generally would advance, and then a 25-lap last chance qualifier where the top 5 would advance. The feature leads to 25 cars, but with only 23 showing up, we're not going to have anybody going home, which once again leads us to not having that last chance qualifier. But currently sits at 80 degrees here in Florida, kind of towards the northern end, I believe, here for Five Flags in Pensacola. I believe that sits up on the Panhandle. Track temperature sitting at 131 degrees, which is definitely going to hurt these tires. And while you're not going to be able to pit for tires, one thing to think about, these guys will have to make a fuel pit stop at some point during this race just due to the length of it. 150 laps Definitely going to be one of our longer races of the year.
Yeah, most definitely. But it's such an iconic track, you know, and they run the Snowball Derby here in real life, and they do it on iRacing. This is basically this league's Snowball Derby.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's the first of the Crown Jewel events. We've got the Snowball Derby coming up here, the race in Martinsville towards the end of the season. And then we've got another one in the middle there. Not totally sure what the track is, but...
North Wilkesboro.
North Wilkesboro, yes sir. So this is going to be definitely something these guys want to get the trophy on to start off in terms of the Crown Jewel Series. But as we see this practice session getting to a close here, that 19... Owen Joyce smacking the wall. Big slide out of the 96. I think he might just be playing around here towards the end of practice.
Yeah, and that's the fun thing about iRacing. You get to play around and smush up your little car a couple of times. Philip York, the #1 here in practice after an hour-long practice session.
Yeah, just a couple of moments away from everybody getting ready for that 2 or rather 3 lap qualifying session that they're going to have. It'll be single car qualifying, but everybody gets 3 laps at it. So we'll see where they start to line up for the heats, but Danny Cochran getting a little bit of some style points going around the front straightaway there. Just a couple of moments here left in practice before these guys get reset to the pit lane and ready for qualifying. 97 giving us a little bit of a show before that happens, but practice is over, and now we're going to see who lines up on the inside and on the outside, who's going to get into what heat. Evan Burke, one of the first guys to get onto the racetrack right now. Remember, you got to stay below that white line until that blue commitment line. But that 062 Evan Burke gets right up next to that inside wall. He's going to be the first one to take the green flag, followed by Dakota Moniz. Ethan Smith is out there. Kyle Rochelle. Go ahead and pop the tower up so you can see where your favorites are in terms of the qualifying session here. Rochelle working the insides on his first lap here. Burke sits on the pole with his first time around. No, Ryan Bird jumps up top with a 1673. Burke 1676. Walter with a 1681 sitting in third. We watch Rochelle get through these last couple of corners here. See if he improves. Sitting in 6th right now. Jumps up to... No, he's going to stay in 6th. Ethan Smith jumps up to 3rd place. Ryan Bird, we see him on his 2nd lap. Might be taking a wider exit or entry to get a nice exit. Push hard on his 3rd and final lap. Zach Jurcic gets up to the top of the board there with a 1657. Cassidy in 2nd. Kralik in 3rd with a very close lap.
So right now, so far, Zach Jurcic out at front. And Philip York, a little bit of trouble there on his first lap, smacked the wall. So quick time in practice, not quite gonna translate here to qualifying.
He's taking another try at it. You see a big slide coming up out of turn number 2. We'll see what he can get through 3 and 4 here. Gonna have one more lap, this 3-lap qualifying attempt. Definitely putting the pedal to the metal there, but York unable to improve his time. Justin Sipes gets up to the top of the board with a 1655. Sipes, obviously, he won early on in the season. He's been one to be reckoned with. Isaac Shelley going to try to improve from his 8th place starting spot. his final lap on the board. We'll see what he comes across with.
A little better.
Yep, gets up to 5th. Braxton DeWeese, however, jumps up to 2nd place on his first attempt at a qualifying lap. We'll see if he jumps out again. Yes, he does. There's just a couple of guys who are not finished with their qualifying attempt. Curtis Hedden coming out to finish out his first lap. See where he jumps up to. He's got 22nd right now. Dominic Chisholm just getting started with his lap, and we've seen him strong all season. Still looking for that first win, but Braxton DeWeese doing everything he can to try to improve on his final lap for qualifying. Let's see what he can get done. Sideways coming up off of turn number 2. Holds that bottom quite well. Let's see if he can improve. Try to take the pole away from Sipes. Not gonna be enough.
Not quite as we've got about everybody done with their qualifying laps here, unless Dominic can set down a blazer. This is the last lap for anybody in qualifying here.
Yeah, Dominic Chisholm gets up to 4th before this time around. Not going to be able to improve. So he's going to start 2nd in that second heat. Like we said, 23 guys registered for this race, which leads us to nobody going home. As you see on the left side of your screen, the tower showing the top 20 in terms of qualifying. Outside of that, Dakota Moniz, Philip York, and Curtis Hedden round out the field. So we've got a few moments before this first heat starts. And Corey, this is your first time with us for the virtual American Short Track Tour. I hate to ask what your expectations are, but what do you think of going into this short track deal? It's gonna be super exciting, I think.
I think it's going to be real exciting here, and you know what? Usually on short tracks we see a lot of wrecks, but I'm going to put some confidence in these guys and say they're going to have a pretty good long green flag run in the feature later.
I wouldn't be super shocked if we saw it. We talked to a couple of guys before the race went live, and Danny Cochran, he's definitely one who's hoping for a longer run throughout this. He starts 5th in this first heat. Justin Sipes is going to sit on the pole with Zach Jurcich and Mason Cassidy, Aaron Kralik in 4th, Danny Cochran rounding out your top 5. And we got Jim Duda, Evan Burke, Kyle Rochelle, Todd Lamphere, Thomas Walter, Dakota Moniz, and Curtis Hedden rounding out the field. 12 drivers ready for heat number 1. It's going to be 15 laps in the Thank a First Responder shootout. Justin Sipes getting ready to go here.
$15 laps, top 10 directly into the feature. The other 2 depends on how it's set up. They're either going to run 3 of them in a B main and take all 3, or they're just going to skip over the B main and line them up how they are.
Yeah, I believe in this case they'll just skip the B main.
Yeah, I imagine so, but we'll find out here at this heat and second heat.
Well, either way, we've got 1 to green this time by. The lights are out on that iRacing sedan pace car. Justin Sipes, Zach Jurcich are going to take it down. Aaron Kralik, Mason Cassidy in row number 2. Jim Duda, Danny Cochran, row number 3. 15 laps to decide the starting order for the inside lane. Green flag is out. We are racing in the first heat of the night. The outside lane seems to be a little bit stronger there, sideways from the 96 up top. That's going to give Sipes an advantage down on the bottom as he now tries to clear. Getting awfully close to that wall, but that outside lane proving to be very dominant on the first lap of this race.
We got a wreck at the back here. Oh my. We had a big old wreck.
And Danny Cochran got turned around. No caution has come out yet. Meanwhile, Zach Jurcic has gotten away to the lead. You're seeing these guys already sliding coming up out of these corners, trying to get every ounce of grip that they can.
Yeah, this track is known to be a little bit looser, especially in the daytime here with the track temps where they are. You're going to see these drivers, they're going to have to fight this car, man.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of fighting, especially when we've got double this field in the main show here tonight. Aaron Kralik currently trying to defend that third place away from Jim Duda, but Duda seems to be strong up on corner exit. See what he can get done coming up off of turn number 4 here. Still about a car length up off. Meanwhile, the race for the lead is still, I mean, it's virtually stationary. Zach Jurcic is he's got himself 2 car lengths or so over Justin Sipes. Sipes a little bit sideways there, but that's just going to give Zach a chance to pull away even more.
Yeah, this is what we like to call a stalemate here, where they are running about similar lap times as each other each lap. I mean, Jurcic at 8:10 and Sipes a little bit slower at an 8:77 there. You can't gain too much when you're running the same time.
Kyle Rochelle with major damage to the front end of his car. It seems like he's fallen out of the race. Not entirely sure what's happened there. We'll keep an eye on that number 1 machine. As like we said, there's only 23 in the registration for this race, so we shouldn't have any go-homers. Kyle Rochelle should be able to make it to the feature for any fans that are in the chat. Still be able to watch your favorite driver run, but for right now, if you're a Zach fan, he's sitting in the race lead right now as about 3/10 of a lead, or 3/10 of a second of a lead over second place Justin Sipes, then Aaron Kralik, followed by Jim Duda and Mason Cassidy, rounding out your top 5 as we have just 4 laps to go in heat race number 1 this time around.
Yeah, in your top 5 here, they've gotten a pretty good gap back to the 6th place guy. That's Evan Burke back there. About 2.6 seconds back there. Look pretty good in that purple and black car.
Yeah, back behind him, we've got Thomas Walter, Dakota Moniz, Curtis Hedden, Todd Lamphere, and Danny Cochran doing everything he can to recover after an early race spin. But so far, it is so good for Jurcic in that number 51. It shows as the 96, so we'll likely have to get a little bit something swapped for next week, but I believe that is going to be the 96 moving forward. White flag in the air. Justin Sipes with a huge run down on entry into 1. Slides up coming up off of 2. We'll see if he can try one last bump and run attempt. Not gonna be enough, as Zach Jurcic is gonna come off of turn number 4, come across the line and win heat race number 2. Then we've got Justin Sipes, Aaron Kralik, Jim Duda, Mason Cassidy, Evan Burke, Thomas Walter, Dakota Moniz, Curtis Hedden, Todd Lamphere, Danny Cochran, and Kyle Rochelle rounds out the field, being unable to finish it. Now, all of a sudden, we are ready to be racked for heat race number 2.
There we go. Heat race number 2 on the lineup here. You're going to get the 15 Braxton DeWeese setting the pole. Outside of him, Dominic Chisholm. Row 2, you're going to see Isaac Shelley, Justin Potter. Row 3, you're going to have Ryan Bird and Robert Hattenbach. Row number 4, you're going to see the 19 of Owen Joyce on his outside. You're going to see the 00 of Ethan Smith. Row 5, Bill Cassidy and Sean Huffstuller. And capping off this heat, he was quick in practice, but a little trouble in qualifying there. That's going to be the 97 of Philip York.
Yeah, York was definitely one that was fast in practice and did not get the qualifying run that he wanted to show for his speed, but starting 11th, he's got a chance to start the feature a little bit better than where he's sitting right now. Got 2 laps of pacing, 11 of the best short track drivers to run it on Sunday nights to try to figure out where they are going to start for the main show, the Snowball Derby, the Blackjack Snowball Derby, here at Five Flags.
This will set up your first 10 rows of the outside. And one of them gets luck of the draw on the, whether we get to a B main or skip the B main. If we skip it, then the 11th place guy gets the 11th outside row.
Braxton DeWeese, Dominic Chisholm leading him down in row number 1. The pace car makes that hard left turn, and it's on the drivers now. Chisholm gets on the gas. He might have himself a little bit of a jump start there, as DeWeese did not win the race to the line, but Chisholm a strong start there. He's going to have about a car length in front of that 15 machine. Meanwhile, the 51 of Justin Potter gets up into the wall just a touch. Seems to be okay moving forward. Little side-by-side action back a little bit further with Owen Joyce and Ethan Smith. This guy's racing for 7th position. And Philip York already trying to work his way up through the field. Looks to the inside, a little bit of contact there, and sideways goes around Philip York. The 9 is also going to get a little bit of piece of that. That's Sean Huffstutler. Billy Cassidy got turned around as well, but that's going to be our first caution of the night as Philip York working the inside of Bill Cassidy. Makes a little bit of contact. We're going to go ahead and double check, show you what happened here.
So we see Philip on the inside, and just a little contact, and bam. Wow.
Not the way Philip York wanted to start his race here today, but luckily for him, it is the heat. He's going to have another chance to get that thing fixed and get at it in the main feature. Meanwhile, Dominic Chisholm leads Braxton DeWeese. That restart was deemed okay. So Chisholm leads over DeWeese, then Potter, Shelley, Bird, Hattenback, Smith, Joyce, Huffstutler, Cassidy, and then York rounds out the field right now.
So it looks like the outside lane on the drop of a green flag is predominant. We've seen it in Heat 1, we've seen it here in Heat 2 already. We're going to see what kind of a jump that Braxton DeWeese can get on that outside lane on Dominic here. Lights are shut off on the pace car. We're about to go back green.
Yeah, and I wonder how much of that has to do with just having a wider exit coming up out of the corner when you're able to put that throttle down. We know these cars make a lot of downforce. They've got a lot of horsepower. But when you're low on speed, the downforce doesn't mean as much. It might mean a little bit more to have that wider radius. I guess we'll find out, though, as the pace car makes that hard left turn. Dominic Chisholm hard on the throttle. He's going to get away pretty good. Braxton DeWeese now defends for the 51 for second place. Side by side with Shelley for third now. And we got Ryan Bird sitting just in the wings waiting for one of these guys to maybe slip up, give him a chance to get up front. We've got 8 laps to go, 7 laps to go here in heat race number 2, the Mercy Medical Transportation Dash. I tell you what, these guys not giving an inch here racing for third place.
No, they are not. They are about touching on corner exit there. Isaac Shelley just trying to hold on for as long as possible. Does not want to give up as many spots as he already is right now. Holding on pretty good on the outside there. Justin Potter edges out ahead that lap.
And here we sit with Ryan Bird. He's doing everything he can to try to follow whichever car is going to be faster. Right now it looks like the 51, but the 51 slides up just a touch, gets into Isaac Shelley, and that's going to open the door for Ryan Bird down on the inside. 4 laps to go in the heat race. These guys are racing for what's effectively, or essentially, 8th place on the starting grid. Second heat forms the outside lane. Dominic Chisholm, he's walking away with this one. Braxton DeWeese sits in second. Justin Potter, Ryan Bird, then Isaac Shelley rounding out the top 5. And now we've got Ethan Smith working the inside of Rod Hattenbach.
Yeah, oh my. They are yelling at it here for the top 6. Ethan Smith barely not edging out right there with 2 to go. Coming through the white flag here for Dominic. Oh, one of them in front of him is blinking there. Uh-oh.
Just a little bit, but no blinking issues are the case for the 87 Dominic Chisholm. He's had himself a couple of phenomenal restarts, gotten away by almost a second. Now 2 more corners to take away the first spot on the outside lane of the main show with the Snowball Derby. Dominic Chisholm takes away the checkered flag for heat race number 2, followed by Braxton DeWeese, Justin Potter, Ryan Bird, Isaac Shelley, Rob Hattenbach, Ethan Smith, Owen Joyce, Philip York, Bill Cassidy, and then I believe Sean Huffstetler rounded out the field in that one. But these things tend to happen super quick with the heat races. We're going to go ahead and show you the grid for the main show. We've got Zach Jersich, and I know I'm butchering that, but we apologize. You're sitting on the pole, though, so you know you're strong. The Dominic Chisholm in second, Justin Sipes, Braxton DeWeese, Aaron Kralik, Justin Potter, Jim Duda, Ryan Bird, Mason Cassidy, Isaac Shelley, Evan Burke, and Rob Hattenbach rounding out the first half of the field. And we jump to the second half.
Yeah, your second half here, you're going to see Thomas Walter, Ethan Smith. You're going to have Dakota Monas, Owen Joyce, Curtis Head, and Philip York, who moved up a couple spots there in his heat. Todd Lamp here, Billy Cassidy, capping back here in the 20s. You're going to see Danny Cochran, Sean Huffstetler, and Kyle Rochelle capping out this field in the number 1 car. So full field here tonight at 5 flags, 23 cars. We could have took 25 if 2 more would have showed up. They would have been in the show. But still full field. Good show out here for the league.
Yeah, and this is the, kind of a smaller field size for this group. They've got a really good core. A lot of guys that show in week in and week out, so it's super cool to have everybody showing up once again. I know we had some guys that were busy tonight and couldn't show up for the race, but 23 drivers ready to do battle for 150 laps. This is the longest night we've had so far, and like we mentioned, these guys will have to stop for fuel, but when they do that, they cannot take tires. There are no tires in the pits. Getting ready here, though. The lights are out on the pace car. He's going to make that hard left turn, leave it in the hands of the 98, and green flag is out already. Look at Dominic Chisholm, though, on the outside, getting a strong start. Half a car length out in front through turns 1 and 2. We'll see how the outside lane gets some momentum. Still the same gap up front. The 96 of Zach trying to do everything he can to hold on to it. But Dominic Chisholm super strong on the initial start. Braxton DeWeese sits in 3rd place, now 4th. Justin Sipes takes away 3rd. Still side by side for the race lead. Zach Jersich doing everything on the bottom right there.
Yes, he is, and Dominic holding on, and I think Dominic's going to keep the lead as we get a caution here. Uh-oh. What do we got going on?
Yeah, it looks like Rob Hattenback got turned around sideways, and some guys getting checked up. We see the 85 Curtis Hedden. Thomas Walter got checked up in that deal as well, but the first caution of the main show comes out on lap number 4. Let's go back, take a look to see what happened.
Might have had a little help here. And he did get a little help. Uh-oh.
Oh,
That ain't
Ethan
good.
Smith with some heavy hit, or heavy contact there.
So the 99 gets turned on lap number 3. Jump scare.
Jump scare indeed. That happened really quick. No time for the 00 of Ethan Smith to react. And now Hatback sits with a little bit of damage here on his car. It doesn't seem like it's going to be too terrible for him, but not the way he wants to start this race. As guys like Sean Huffstutler, Thomas Walter, and Curtis Hedden come in to take a look at some of that damage.
Yeah, looks like Curtis Hedden there. His nose is a little bit more shoved back than it probably ought to be.
Slow it down, take a look on board with Curtis Hedden as this all unfolds right in front of him. You can see where the initial slide up and contact is made. Oh, he got turned around, turned into the inside wall. That's why he got set down. So heavy damage for that Curtis Hedden machine, but we're getting back ready for the restart here. Lap number 7, going to be lap 8. And Chisholm hard on the gas. He's going to get clear on the restart. Green flag back out in the Snowball Derby.
Yeah, here we go. Chisholm, pretty good launch. He got lucky.
Oh, Kralik sideways. Kralik in the 51 made a little bit of contact. That was Justin Potter. Potter gets away okay, but Kralik had a little bit of a save, and now he's under fire from Ryan Bird, who is now all of a sudden under fire from the 53 of Jim Duda.
Yeah, and Duda running pretty strong right now. Just a little bit held up in traffic, but that's short track racing here for you. Under fire from Mason Cassidy there in the Goodwood Wrench silver car. Trying to utilize that outside lane.
Isaac Shelley had an issue there. He was able to continue without losing a lap so far, but here comes Zach Jurchich on the inside, looking to the inside. Chisholm will not give him the lane, though.
No, you pretty much have to block that inside line. You do not want anybody to get into your inside. You can utilize the outside for about a lap or two, and then your tires are just going to fall off. As you see right now, Jursic almost to the bottom. He is to the bottom now, Chisholm.
Yeah, Jursic down on the bottom of Chisholm. Chisholm might have touched the wall a little bit there coming up off of turn number 2, but Jursic showing that inside lane's dominance takes the race lead away from the 87 Chisholm. Battle for 3rd and 4th right now as Justin Sipes is trying to defend from Justin Potter. The battle of the Justins right now, but Potter sitting strong on the inside. Kralik trying to follow through underneath that 55.
Yeah, Kralik now taking advantage of Sipes being up top here. Sipes, he's got to find a hole if he don't want him to get freight trained here. On that outside, he has a hole. We'll see if he takes it, and he has plenty of room to take that little hole there.
Yeah, Ryan Bird and Jim Duda Might have been making a little bit of contact that last time around. Got Bird rather a little bit sideways. Let Sipes get down to the inside and prevent a little bit more of that freight training action. Somebody else getting potentially freight trained is the 71 up on top, Mason Cassidy. He's trying to hold on to that top side, getting that momentum up off of the corners, but Jim Duda just so strong in the middle. These guys are unable to... Oh, we've got a caution on the speedway. Kyle Rochelle and Dakota Mani is pointed towards the outside wall, getting down into turn number 3. Take a look to see what happened there. Kyle Rochelle with major damage on the front end. These guys side by side running through 1 and 2.
And a little contact there, and around we go.
Looks like the one got a little bit loose on corner exit, slid up in front of the 5, and they hooked. Unfortunately, it's going to get the 57, Thomas Walter, involved in another one.
And it looked like the maybe the 26 involved a little bit there too. Todd Lampier.
Oh yeah, big hit for Todd Lampier in the 26. Absolutely right there.
Second caution here of the night. 20 laps in the books.
Definitely a tough break for those guys. We saw Kyle Rochelle get up into the wall there. Sean Huffstutler also with some damage. And we sit under caution right now. 21 laps complete out of 150.
That's a good thing about short tracks is laps go by quickly, but if you're not the leader, you don't want to see these cautions.
I don't really know if anybody wants to see these cautions. I mean,
Nah.
Five Flags is a track that's known for comers and goers, and the longer this race goes, I know a lot of these guys have focused on their long run setup. So the longer this run goes, the more comers and goers we're going to see, and the more confidence we're going to see out of some of these guys in the mid-pack. But I tell you what, Zach Jursic, I don't know why I can't say that. Jursic and Chisholm have been super strong here at Jursic with a super strong restart there. Got a little bit sideways with the tire spin. Chisholm stays just barely on the outside. He's going to try to slot in behind in second place. Not enough space. No, he's going to stick up on the top side of Jursic.
It's an interesting call here for Chisholm to try to battle it out on the outside. He might get lucky here and get a spot in between Jursic and DeWeese, but DeWeese coming on strong right here in third.
Side by side, Potter and Cassidy now. These guys running hard, trying to take away the top 5. This is actually a battle for fourth here as Aaron Kralik and Philip York battling side by side behind him. Philip York, we saw get around sideways in his heat race, now sits inside the top 10. A little bit of damage to the front end of that 97 machine, but he's running strong, sitting in 7th place, actually up 11 spots from where he started in this race. The only driver who has passed more cars is this man, Danny Cochran. Cochran sitting in 9th position, started in 21st. He's up 12, and he sees this battle right in front of him with Philip York, Jim Duda, Aaron Kralik, and Potter getting up top. A little bit of contact between Kralik and York puts York up into the wall. Now Danny Cochran going to try to take advantage of that spot. Not quite enough to take the pass, but he's got the inside position. And if Philip York can't fill that gap, it's going to spell disaster for him as he will likely continue to fall back.
Yeah, and I haven't seen anybody utilize that outside lane as much as Mason has. He's moved up a lot of spots. He's in that outside lane. Only 5 spots, but he's passed them all about on the outside lane.
That's going to be key later on in this race, especially if it tends to trend green. I know we've had a couple of quick cautions, but these guys have been able to get spread out and kind of work the lines that they want to. And as this track gets more rubbered in, we might see that outside lane being more and more dominant, especially with some of these runs that we've seen some of these guys get coming on corner exit. That momentum could really play a factor towards the end of this race. And speaking of momentum, Dominic Chisholm trying to work the momentum he has around Zach Jurczyk. Works the top side right now. It seems like he's faster in the center, but just can't get it on corner exit.
Yeah, he gains all the time about center of the corner here, and then loses the ground he gains on corner exit. He enters turn 3 high, cuts down low on exit there in 4, and kind of does about the same down here in 1 and 2.
It's really tough with these short tracks, especially with as much downforce as these cars make. It's tough to sit behind somebody and try to figure out where your car is going to run better than theirs do. We hear a lot in the Cup Series. They talk about dirty air. Not as much of a factor in these cars, but when you get right up behind somebody, you don't have that downforce on the front of your car. I don't care what you're driving, whether it's a Legends car, a super late model, a Cup car. Getting right behind somebody is not good for the front end of these race cars.
No, and that dirty air will kind of formate a little bit of a push on your car. So you're going to see drivers kind of maybe leave about half a car width of fresh air on the nose there to try to mitigate their push. That's what Dominic's trying to do. He's trying to mitigate the push, trying to run about half a groove higher than you see Jurczyk running.
Otter got up into the wall down the back straightaway. He's going to lose a couple spots to Kralik and Duda. Now he's going to try to slot his way back in front of Danny Cochran. Cochran up 13 spots from where he started. Trying to stay calm, cool, and collected throughout the course of this race, but up to 8th from the 21st starting spot. He's got to be feeling good about that race car. Looks at the inside of Potter, getting down into 1. Potter doesn't seem to be fighting him super hard, trying to rely on that exit speed, but he doesn't seem to have it as Danny Cochran works the inside through 3 and 4. We've got 38 laps complete by our leader, Zach Jurczyk, and tell you what, this race has absolutely flown by. It's trending green like the way a lot of these guys wanted. We talked to Danny before the show started. He was definitely one of these guys who wanted it to go green. He's racing hard with that 51 right now. Tell you what, that 51, he's putting on a show on the outside.
Yeah,
Cochran.
He's really trying to hold him off here.
Cochran got a little bit loose there. The 51 might have touched the wall. And now they touch. Philip York looking to take advantage of this. Owen Joyce working the inside, or rather Thomas Walter working the inside of Owen Joyce. Now Joyce under fire from the 72 of Bill Cassidy. Cassidy's had a strong car under him. He's just been left in traffic and unable to kind of deal with that. Mired back in 13th place. You know he's got a quick car. He's up 7 from where he started. Definitely wants to get around that damaged machine of the 19, Owen Joyce. Meanwhile, Joyce doing everything he can to recover from the little bit of damage he's gotten before in some of these earlier incidents. He's got himself a strong recovery in 12th, but that 72 all over the back bumper if he can just keep the traction underneath that race car.
Yeah, and the best battle right now, that's between the 97, 51, still York and Potter. York is driving tires off that car. I mean, he's sliding it out of every corner here, and we'll see if he gets back up here to Potter. About the last couple times he's got to him, he's put a little door to him.
He's getting close. It seems like he's got a better center off than the 51 machine. Now all of a sudden that 51 super strong on exit at 2. We'll see how 3 and 4 goes with this later apex, this later attempt at a kind of a diamond. The way he goes through the corner, cutting that late edge of it, trying to get the best run he can up off of turns. Gets him close to the back of that 51, but now he goes way wide through turns 3 and 4. Caution has just come out once again. Bill Cassidy has gone around in turns 3 and 4. So we'll go back, try to take a quick look to see what happened as he's racing with that 62 machine. 062 of Evan Burke. Burke gets in there, gets him turned around. It was actually turns 1 and 2, but a heavy hit to the outside for the 72 machine. And that's actually going to bring in almost the entire field for that fuel stop. So the entire field coming in for the fuel stop. We're going to go ahead and step away for a quick side-by-side, quick commercial break, pay some bills. We'll be right back with the restart. We appreciate you tuning in live here on Sim Racing Media. All right, coming back to the restart, Ryan Bird, Justin Sipes, and Bird has elected to take the outside lane. Green flag back out. Ryan Bird with a phenomenal restart there, and once again, he stayed out, did not decide to come in for that pit stop. We'll double check on those numbers. He last came in on lap number 19. It might be enough to make it to the end. I'm not entirely sure, but for right now, Ryan Bird leads over Justin Sipes, Isaac Shelley, Dominic Chisholm, and Kyla Rochelle. We talked about him early on in the heat race. He was nosed up to the fence earlier on in this race. He sits up in the top 5.
Yeah, your 4 there stayed out. Now Dominic has split up the top 4 that did stay out. Interesting strategy there. Maybe they know something more than we don't. They can make it. I'm not sure fuel mileage here, but I'd assume everybody that did come in that caution can make it. At least.
Yes, sir. We were told they were going to have to make a fuel stop because of the length of this race. We don't know for sure what the fuel mileage is. So with the leader having last come in on lap number 19, he might be okay. Dominic Chisholm sitting in 4th place, the most recent, or I'd rather say the furthest up guy who's made the most recent pit stop. He last pitted on lap number 48 compared to the guys in front of him, all three on lap 19. And sideways! There's a crash in turns 3 and 4. Looks like Isaac Shelley got turned around. Justin Potter also caught up in that one. Take a quick look to see what happened to Isaac Shelley. He's got Dominic Chisholm painting a bead on his back bumper. Looks down to the inside, and around goes Shelley. Rochelle nowhere to go. A couple of guys hitting the inside wall, avoiding action. Looks to just be a 2-car incident here. To bring out the caution flag once again. 58 laps complete here in the Blackjack Snowball Derby for the Virtual American Short Track Tour.
Yeah, so that'll move Dominic up unless we give out EOLs in this league for causing wrecks. I'm not saying it wasn't him, but it looked like he did get in the back of Shelley.
Yeah, there was no doubt about it. There was contact between the two, but it looked like that 87 kind of got down to the inside. Maybe the 98 didn't know how far up he was. Not entirely sure, but we've definitely seen some egregious, maybe 1 or 2 egregious incidents in this league, and that was not it. And that's not to say that there's guys in this league that'll go out and do stuff like that, but when you get in this short track environment, you get bumped around one too many times. We've definitely seen it where somebody tries to deliver some payback. This was, by all means, not any situation like that, and like I said, we don't have a bunch of hotheads up in this league, but short track tempers definitely tend to fly. Ryan Bird, Justin Sipes, Dominic Chisholm, Braxton DeWeese, and Ethan Smith round out your top 5.
We got somebody out there in the chat that's wanting a close-up look at the 15 there.
Well, we've got a few moments before this restart comes. Not very many, but we've got a few moments, and I have definitely seen the Allen Art Images crew in the chat. We definitely appreciate you guys showing up and sponsoring this number 15 machine. Braxton DeWeese, last week's winner. He sits in 4th place on the restart here, but Ryan Bird, Justin Sipes going to take him down. Bird with a strong restart. Green flag back in the air once again. Bird going to try to get down and clear Sipes. He's going to be able to. Now DeWeese battles Chisholm. DeWeese up on the top side. Sipes goes up and blocks that top side's momentum. Chisholm on the bottom. DeWeese up on the top. And here comes the 96 of Jersich. Doing side by side right behind these guys, Danny Cochran, Ethan Smith. And there's Philip York trying to make his way through up into the top 5. Danny Cochran is up 16 positions from where he started. He's in 5th, started 21st, and we've got a caution flag once again. Justin Potter has been turned around down the back straightaway. I believe Evan Burke was also a piece of that. Yeah, he's just getting turned back around. He's got heavy damage to that car. Not sure if that was from this incident or a previous one, but a couple more getting turned around, bringing out the caution flag. 65 laps into this 150 lap feature.
And a little snoot and...
Ooh.
Oh my.
We'll take the wide angle for this one.
have been Sean Kralik getting into the back of him there. It sent him around, and unfortunate for Justin Potter. Wrong place, wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time indeed. Well, we definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. This race has been absolutely action-packed, so much so that we haven't been able to check out the chat. Corey has done what he can to look at the chat. Obviously mentioned the fans of the 15 machine, but we've got a lot of people up in the chat. Alan's Art Images sitting on the 15 machine. Some more 15 Braxton DeWeese fans. Got some guys talking about the 97. April Lee rooting for the 00. Ethan Smith. Chris DeWeese, I wonder who he's rooting for. He says, hey diggity, put the time difference on the leaderboard, please. We will get that done. We appreciate your feedback. So as we get ready for the restart, we'll take another quick look at this AAI machine driven by Braxton DeWeese. That Camaro's looking pretty good, but we're doubling up, getting ready for the restart here. Ryan Bird elects the outside lane once again. Seems like he likes it. Justin Sipes sitting almost a car length behind. Pace car goes off. Restart coming out. And Bird on the gas. Gets about 2 car lengths before he gets down up into turn 1. They're side by side for second and third. Chisholm to the bottom of DeWeese. Sipes moves up, and now Chisholm back down to the bottom.
Yeah, Chisholm just trying to make a hole there on the bottom. Trying to get back up to the lead here. Now in third. Look at Dominic. I mean, not Danny Cochran right there in fifth. Battling with Ethan Smith. And we got another caution out here on the race chat. Uh-oh, and we about wrecked post caution. Come on.
Yeah, multiple cars are involved in this one. We'll go ahead and unpack this one. It seems like the Billy Cassidy machine was involved.
Oh, what happened a little bit ahead of him? Happened ahead of Sean here too with the 5 car Dakota.
The 5 was the first to get sideways, but it looked like he checked up for something. We'll slow it down on board with the 5 to see maybe what he checked up for. It looks like the 19 is sideways in front of him. Oh, the 99 gets turned around in front of him. He checks up trying to avoid it and gets run into from the backside. Waiting for the 9 of Hustler to get turned around. 51 of Potter, nowhere to go but into the back of that 062 machine. Evan Berg, who comes up across into the 72. So the closest we've gotten to a big one so far. Just past halfway, 75 laps complete this time. Ryan Bird leads over Justin Sipes, Dominic Chisholm, Braxton DeWeese, and Danny Cochran, who's up 16 spots from his starting spot, sits on the 5th position to round out our top 5.
sent Danny up 15 spots from the start of the race. Just past halfway here. Half in, half to go.
These guys get ready, doubling up once again. These laps definitely click off super quick here. They're running 16-second laps around this half-mile racetrack. And like we've said, it's one of the most iconic short tracks that there is in all of America, sitting just on the panhandle of Florida. Sand blasted from the oceans and all of the crazy weather that they get. Green flag back in the air. Ryan Bird with another strong restart, and I tell you what, Chisholm is doing absolutely all he can. And around, we've got problems going into turn number 1.
No caution quite yet. They all keep in line, keep it straight. At
They
the
did.
back.
I saw one guy getting sideways in turns 1 and 2 and did not see any chance that they would save it. Turns out that they did. We stayed green. Nobody got turned around all the way to trigger an iRacing caution, and also nothing big enough to trigger an admin caution, as Justin Sipes takes advantage on the inside of Dominic Chisholm right now. Chisholm doing absolutely everything he can to try to get around that 55, and I know I say that a lot, everything he can, but these guys are absolutely working it to get every spot that they can, every inch of racetrack that they can use. When you got somebody on your outside or even on your inside, it's tough to use up all the racetrack that you want. Dominic Chisholm, though, super strong coming up off of the corner there. Just a couple of feet between him and second place, Justin Sipes. Sipes, however, does not give up that inside lane. He kind of defends a little bit. Look for Chisholm to try a little bit of a crossover as we are under caution once again, and Thomas Walter has gone around. Coming up off of turn 4. Might have just been a tap from Aaron Kralik. Being stuck up on the inside, having to turn around, never a good spot for a driver to be in, so the caution had to come out there.
So 19 cars still in the lead lap here. You got Curtis Haddon, who's called it quits, and Evan Berg, 9 laps down at 22nd, sitting in pit road here. So pretty good field still here. 19 of them survived on the lead lap. We'll have 20 with Potter getting the lucky dog.
It'll be Bird, Sipes, Chisholm, Cochran, and DeWeese in the top 5. You mentioned 19 cars up on the lead lap as Justin Potter gets his lap back. Thomas Walter, I believe, also on the lead lap. Stayed on the lead lap after getting turned around that time. Might have to start at the back from bringing out the caution, but 20 cars on the lead lap right now after 85 laps of action here at the short track. That just kind of goes to show how good these guys are and how good they are at staying out of trouble. Even though we've seen plenty of cautions tonight and a flurry throughout the middle of this race, these guys aren't wrecking the machines. They're giving everything they can on the racetrack, but seems like they're able to bring it home so far. Lights are out on the pace car. Bird elects the top side once again. Sipes to his inside. Chisholm on the inside of row number 2. Cochran on the outside there. Then Ethan Smith He's going to look to take the outside. Braxton DeWeese on the inside. These guys, rest of the field, try to close up to get ready for this restart. But it's all going to come down to Ryan Bird. When does he get on the gas? Already on it. Ryan Bird takes the green flag. Justin Sipes had a pretty good restart on the inside, but not quite enough. Chisholm able to take away the spot from Danny Cochran. But Cochran works that outside lane. Now he cuts down in front of DeWeese to get to the bottom. DeWeese bumps into the back of Cochran. Cochran looks low at the 87.
Yeah, oh my. Danny there just got the little bump from Braxton. Almost could have turned disastrous for him there. You just can't. You got to be easy on the bump with these cars. It's kind of like a scoop on the front of your machine here. It'll scoop up the car head, and it could have been disastrous, but we all kept the green.
Here's Jursic on the outside of Ethan Smith, not giving an inch. Neither one of these drivers couldn't fit a piece of paper between them that last time through 3 and 4, and now that 96 is showing why that middle to outside lane might be prominent as this race continues. 90 laps are complete, 60 laps to go here at the short track of Five Flags. We've got a phenomenal battle pretty much everywhere across the racetrack. We've got side by side for a top 10 spot. Mason Cassidy trying to take advantage of both of these guys. Owen Joyce also trying to take advantage of those guys. And sideways goes to 96. Jim Duda hard into the outside wall. Jim Duda's upside down.
Turtle. Was.
Not quite. Not quite
Not
turtled
quite.
there, but almost.
Just a little bit around, and there's Duda
Oh,
inside
man.
ball pushed up, flips, and gets a little help here from a friend, and thank you.
That hit to the inside wall was brutal, though.
Yeah, I'd say that car isn't driving as straight as it probably could. Oh, and wow, actually, further up ahead at the same time. Get another wreck here with Dominant.
Oh, wow. Danny Cochran, Dominic Chisholm get turned around. Potentially not seeing that the caution had come out. It's about the only thing that I could think of. But Chisholm stuck up against the outside wall, and Danny Cochran. Both of these guys losing a lot of spots. Good catch there, Corey.
Yeah, oh my. So, a couple of your front runners not quite involved directly in the original caution. They might be getting their spot back. They might have gotten lucky there.
It looks like since the caution was already out, they're going to get their spots back, but definitely some damage to the left side of the 87 machine. And Danny Cochran also with a little bit of damage to the front end of that machine.
A little lucky, but got a little bit damage, a little bit more damage than they had. It's alright. These cars, they can take a beating.
Yeah, you know, aero's not going to be a major effect here on the short track, but tell you what, it can't feel super good to see those crinkles. As these guys get ready, I believe they're taking 1 to green this time by Ryan Bird. Seems to like that outside when it comes to the restarts. I don't expect him to change anything, and he does not. So it'll be Ryan Bird on the outside, Sipes on the inside, Dominic Chisholm in third on the inside, Danny Cochran on the outside of him in fourth place. Braxton DeWeese, third car on the inside, rounds out your top 5. The pace car makes that hard left turn, and Ryan Bird back on the gas. Green flag is out once again, and a super strong restart again out of that 49 machine.
Yes, Hype's on the bottom, just trying to time it every time, but not quite. been able to guess is battle is on for third between Dominic Chisholm and Danny Cochran. 2-2, right
Oh,
behind your
one
front
up
two.
in the wall, riding the wall. That's Jim Duda.
Doing his best Ross Chastain impression back there.
Looks like we're going to get away from that without a caution, but look at this. You can see the entire pack throughout most of this battle, or most of this camera angle. You can see him battling for third place as Chisholm tries to keep that 2-car at bay, but the 2 with a strong run up top keeps the fender there just enough, so Chisholm can't use up all the racetrack. Once again, coming up off of 4, it's the same deal. Danny Cochran working that outside lane quite well, and as this race progresses, we've got less than 50 laps to go. That middle line might be something. It's not going to get much more than that, though.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Danny, it looks like that middle lane is starting to fall off here as this little run gets going. He's under pressure now by Braxton DeWeese on the bottom, trying to make up that spot here for 4th.
Race for the lead heating up. Justin Sipes all over the back bumper of Ryan Bird, but Sipes doesn't seem to have the corner exit that Bird does. Sipes working that inside lane. It's not very easy to make a lane when these guys are all rocking the inside. Sometimes you think it's just going to come down to the bumper, but I tell you what, some of these guys are thinking if I can get a run up off the corner, look to his inside up into the next one, they might have a chance of making a clean pass. Jursic on the outside of Smith, being followed by the 71 of Cassidy. You mentioned, Corey, you mentioned earlier, Cassidy was one of these guys that really made that middle to outside work better than most others. A lot of the passes he made early on. And sideways with Smith there. Makes a good correction there. It's going to give the 96 of Jursic the position, and now he's all of a sudden battling with that 71 up on the top side.
Yeah, and here comes Owen Joyce as well on the outside of Smith.
But Corey, I was going to say, before we got caught up in some great racing action, you mentioned how this 71's able to work the top side. How do you think it's, I mean... Oh, into the wall hard is Braxton DeWeese! Goodness me, let me just ask the question. When you're able to run the top side like the 71, what does that do for your confidence?
Well, you know, it really helps out in saying, hey, man, if I can get a good little run here, I can make up more spots than a lot of these other guys. I mean, it's worked out for him so far. But wow, Braxton DeWeese there just a couple laps ago, getting up in that wall. Oh my, just losing all the spots.
Not only did he get up into the wall, but he was giving no space to Kyle Rochelle and the 19 of Owen Joyce on his inside. This guy was all up on their doors, giving them everything he had. Trying to stay in the top 10. Unfortunately, wasn't able to do it. Kyle Rochelle, who we saw nosed up to the fence earlier on, and now sideways is Billy Cassidy. He had himself a phenomenal save there. Might have been a little contact with Aaron Kralik. Isaac Shelley has been turned around. Not sure if that's going to bring out the caution, and it does. The yellow flag is out for Isaac Shelley getting turned around in turns 1 and 2. So if that green flag run doesn't explain how this series has gone, I don't know what will. We've had unstoppable action, and even as I tried to throw it to Corey for a question, I got cut off 3 times by these guys just doing phenomenal things on the racetrack. I'm going to go ahead and take a look to see what happened to Isaac Shelley to bring out that caution, but there's that loose moment I saw between the 72, but that's where Isaac Shelley got turned around. Bit of a bump there and some more contact with a passing car. So 72 gets sideways, and Hattenback gets into the back of the 98 as he tries to check up behind Kralik. Comes back up the racetrack and smacks up into the 5 machine. Dakota Moniz hits the outside wall with the back end.
And just stops on the apron here, and that's right off the caution so it wouldn't affect the leaders.
Yeah, when you're running on a track this short, tough to find a spot in traffic, and the last thing you want to do is do a burnout and get up out of the racetrack in front of the race leaders. So applaud the league for throwing out the caution there, and definitely a good call by Isaac Shelley to not speed up and try to get up in front of the field. He's going to stay on the lead lap. Braxton DeWeese, we saw him get up into the wall. He's sitting on the pits. He's going through the pit lane. Going to try to get some of that damage fixed. Braxton DeWeese, though, last week's winner in phenomenal fashion, as a lot of these finishes have been. Going to come into the pits, get some damage fixed at this point.
Well, you're Ryan Bird. You're out front here. You've pretty much gotten away every drop of the green. Are you feeling nervous right now, or?
I figure as long as everything goes good on the restart, you've got nothing to be nervous about. Sipes has been able to get close, but he hasn't been able to pass, and we've seen some 10-15 lap runs here. These tires have been able to heat up. If you're Ryan Bird right now, starting on the outside, as long as you can get clear into 1, I think you're okay. We'll see how it goes, though. Ryan Bird hard on the gas, green flag back in the air, and he's going to get cleared down into 1. Stays a little bit wide, but arcs his corner quite nicely. He's going to have 2 car lengths coming up off of turn number 2. They stay side by side for 3rd. There's Philip York up on the outside. He is now our biggest mover, up 15. Danny Cochran a couple of spots behind, also up 15. Philip York working now 3 wide. Here comes Zurchik up in the middle. 3 wide for a moment there. That 96 blinking out for a moment of time here. Will looks like he's back in the show, still racing that 97. Philip York hard on the inside. Jurczyk gonna be able to take that spot away. Maybe not quite, as that outside lane holds the momentum. This is the battle for 5th position right now, and Danny Cochran doing what he can to try to figure out which lane is going to be the better one to move through. But if he passes that 97, he's absolutely going to be the biggest mover of the day.
Yeah, and you see Philip, he's just holding all he can on the high side. He just can't give up the spot because there's no gap behind Jurczyk to fall into. He's got to hold his hand right now on the top side.
Yeah, he's one of the few who's been able to make that outside lane work, at least on exit, but the center is really where a lot of these guys are working the inside and making the time. Tough for these guys as they sit side by side, but right now Ryan Bird holds on to the race lead, coming to 28 laps to go right now. He's got about 2 car lengths over Justin Sipes, then Dominic Chisholm in 3rd. Chisholm has not won this year, neither has Ryan Bird, but Chisholm is a guy who's definitely been close, wants to get this done. Only 2 spots away from the race win with 26 laps to go this time around. Tell you what, as that 55 inches closer and closer to the back bumper of the 49, Dominic Chisholm is just getting hungrier and hungrier, hoping something happens between these two.
And Jurczyk back there with a good Formula drift impression in that 99. 96.
Take a lap back and look at the Tokyo drift that the 98 or 96 rather was able to put on, coming up off of turn number 2, sideways, and got a push from Danny Cochran. Huge slide getting down into the corner, but able to recover. Now still in front of that 2 machine, holding on to the top 5 position. Absolutely great wheel work from that 96, and a great catch from Corey B up in the booth here.
We do appreciate the drone drivers that allow us to see the action out there.
And we definitely appreciate everybody who's jumping up in the chat. A lot of fans for the 15. A couple of fans for Smith in the 00. Got Alan's art images back on the car. Randy Kelly. Appreciate you guys being a part of this. That 15 machine is not where it wants to be right now. Currently sitting in 19th position. But we've got ourselves a race for the lead with 22 laps to go here at Five Flags Speedway.
And that 55 just trying to close in on your race leader, Ryan Bird. Bird just being as smooth as he possibly can. And we got another caution here on the racetrack on lap 130.
Oh, and Joyce. Looks to have been turned around, but able to recover quickly. And I tell you what, we've got 20 laps to go at this point. This caution is just going to complicate everything.
Well, maybe a little hair of contact between Joyce and the 71 there.
Might have been a touch in that code. I don't like to say that word, but not entirely sure that that should have been an incident, nor should it have brought out the caution. Yeah, that was just hard racing. Unfortunately, netcode got the 19 turned sideways, and a great job by him to keep it off the wall. But tell you what, you got a car sideways, sitting driver's side to the rest of traffic. Throwing the caution is absolutely the best call, and good call by this group here. So 18 laps to go right now. Ryan Bird sits in the race lead. He has been absolutely, dare I say, goated on these restarts.
Well,
gotta get with the young people there, but no, this man is absolutely just phenomenal when it comes to restarts.
yeah, he's pretty well dominated the restarts over Justin Sipes. Those two have been going at it ever since the lap 48 caution, actually. Dominic just trying to make a power move to get up to the lead, up to second at least, up to the lead. Dominic led about the first 50 or so laps before coming down and getting his gas. And you know what? I don't think everybody is going to be safe on gas here. Bird and Sipes came in on 19. All these caution flags, that helped out their situation on gas.
And tried to go back and look through a little bit of a race recap, but we're doubled up, ready for the restart, so no time for that. We've got 16 laps to go, going to be 15 at the stripe. Virtual American Short Track Tour taking on the first of their crown jewels of this year. Ryan Bird takes the green flag with another strong start up on the top side. Philip York gets a little bit of a run, able to run side by side with Justin Sipes for second place now.
And caution is out. Uh-oh, oh my.
So caution coming out right there on the restart.
Oh, Mason getting a little bit of help here, and bam.
Well, you know what they say, Corey. Cautions breed cautions.
Yeah, and I mean, now you got Dominic, who's going to be lining up on the outside lane behind Ryan Bird. We've seen Philip York get a good run on the last restart, being on the outside lane behind Ryan Bird. Can Dominic now get a good launch? Or is this the break that Justin Sipes needed to make a run for the money here? Don't forget, the winner tonight, they get $20. Ooh.
Yes, sir. That's something we haven't mentioned at all. The winner of the race gets $20. The second place driver gets nothing. So
Hey,
a little bit
that's
more
dinner.
on the line to take the checkered. Sorry, Corey.
Yeah, that's dinner. Or lunch.
It sure is. Or maybe it's a racetrack. Maybe it's maybe it's 40 hours of posted sessions. Who knows?
I imagine they'd use it on lunch, or maybe if they got a girlfriend or a wife out there, maybe they can buy their girlfriend something nice. Nothing too nice.
So you're saying with $20 you would not buy 40 hours of posted iRacing sessions?
Well, I don't have a girlfriend, so I can about spend anything. But I'm sure if you got a girlfriend, she might be wanting that $20. Ain't
She might appreciate the Cheesecake Factory upgrade.
Oh boy.
Well, Ryan Bird sits here with 10 laps to go. Going to be 9 at the restart, and we're starting to get into the point where a long run doesn't even matter. These guys are going to have to get everything they can up on this restart, up in these first couple of laps. You see Justin Sipes working the top side, trying to stay as close to Bird as he can. Dominic Chisholm with a phenomenal restart behind Bird. Stays within a car length, getting down into turn number 1. Is going to be able to clear Justin Sipes. Now Sipes back to the inside. Is Chisholm able to keep the run up off the top? He does. He gets down inside for second place. Dominic Chisholm, your second place driver. Philip York and Danny Cochran racing for 4th place right now. These two are your biggest movers of the day. Looks like York gets down on the inside. On the entry, a little bit easier, but Cochran sideways coming up off the corner. Could have had that momentum. Dominic Chisholm, however, trying to figure out a way to get around that 49. He's got a strong run down to the inside. 7 laps to go this time by. Looks to the outside.
Oh man, he's on the outside here. That opens up the door for Sipes to maybe get in, and so we get a caution.
Oh, and
here.
around goes. The caution had come out. Good on you for keeping an eye on that. That definitely led to an exciting moment up front where the 87 got into Ryan Bird just after that caution came out. Zach Jursic was the one who got turned around to bring out that caution. Let's go back and take a look to see what happened to our 96 machine. Oh, he got into the back of Cochran. Cochran goes sideways, and oh man, unfortunately that 96 gets turned around. Heavy impact to the wall. Brings out our 12th caution of the day.
That's a beautiful picture right there. I mean, it ain't beautiful in the sense of, you know, it's just beautiful because of the car up in the air.
No, I know what you mean. It's definitely not good for the driver of that car, but tell you what, it looked cool.
Hey, look, go at least. I'll give him style points. I'm sure he didn't quite want that to happen from the 6th position right there, but you know what? At least you look cool doing it.
Well, we've
Sorry,
got 5.
Zach.
Yeah, sorry, Zach, indeed. We've got 5 laps to go, 4 laps to go this time. 12 cautions have taken place here in our Snowball Derby. The Blackjack Snowball Derby for the Virtual American Short Track Tour. And I tell you what, Corey, I know you're new to this league, but this has been one of our best leagues in terms of finishes. I believe it's been all but 1 week that our races have been decided by a last lap pass. And I know that bump and run is easy to think about on these short tracks, but getting down to the nitty gritty, 3 laps to go, this is looking to be an overtime with just 2 laps, if you're sitting here in second place, Dominic Chisholm, Justin Sipes in third, or even fourth place, Philip York, you got to be thinking that chrome horn might be the path to victory.
Well, we don't want them to wreck each other, but we would like to see a little bit of action up here in the booth with a little bump and run. I think we might see it. Dominic is hungry. Sipes is hungry. Sipes is going to be starting on the inside row here in row 2. York, if he can get a good start like Dominic did the last time around, and actually, look at this bird.
Taking the inside
Wow.
the first time all night, but he knows Chisholm is going to be a strong guy behind him. He does not want to give him a chance. We're going to have 2 laps to go to decide it all. Ryan Bird, Dominic Chisholm, Justin Sipes, Philip York, and Ethan Smith round out your top 5. Base car making that hard left turn. Ryan Bird hard on the gas already. Sipes gets to the inside of Chisholm. Bird with a car length lead. 2 laps to go here at 5 Flags. Justin Sipes gets within about a half a car length, getting down into turn number 1. Chisholm stays strong on the outside. Side by side, dead even, getting down into 3 for second place. Sipes gets the pass done. Car length behind your race leader, and the caution has come out once again.
So we're going to see green light check number 2 attempt. So we get you the replay here of the wreck at the back.
Billy Cassidy is the one who got turned around sideways to bring out this caution. Oh, Rob Hattenback with nowhere to go. Helps get that 72 turned around sideways to bring out that caution. And I tell you what, when you're coming to the white flag, you cannot have a car sitting sideways in the middle of the racing groove. Good call to bring out the caution there, even though definitely one who wanted to see how that was going to go. Sipes was getting close, but
We had a little bit of heated moment here under yellow, folks.
yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, that happened.
Well, we know the league's rules on intentional wrecking, stuff like that. I don't know if that was an intent wreck so much as it was an expression of displeasure. The 72 obviously got the worst end of the deal out of that, so I would be shocked to see if a penalty came out of that, but definitely some frustration of being thrown out of the 72 machine, not liking being turned in the late stages of this race.
So Sipes now back up to second. We'll see where Bird elects when we get back to the 1 to green. If he goes back up top or if he keeps the bottom groove. He's chosen the top every restart except for that one.
Looking like he wants the top again.
He's faking them.
We'll see as they come across the line here.
And it looks like electing the high side.
Yes, sir. Bird taking the outside for what could be the final restart.
By theory. We still got one more green light checkered. We can go green. They wreck them. We pull a caution out. We try again. If we don't wreck them, we get to the white flag. Well, they can kill each other after that part.
Absolutely. Ryan Bird, Justin Sipes on the front row. Then we've got Dominic Chisholm and Philip York. Green flag is out. Top side seems to be strong here. Ryan Bird with about a car length getting down into turn 1. Here comes Chisholm, and around goes the 55.
It's the big one.
That's chaos in turns 1 and 2, and almost upside down goes the 9 of Sean Huffstutler. As guys are trying to get through, that's going to bring out once again a caution flag. We're going to try one more time at this restart. So Sipes is going to get a little bit of contact from that 87 Chisholm.
around. There goes Sipes.
And Philip York, hard contact into the outside wall. Huffstetler got hit from the right side and then hit from the left side. The 71 getting turned around as well. Mason Cassidy, the 57 of Thomas Walter getting caught up in that.
Carnage everywhere. Are you kidding? And track is clear now.
Track is clear, and then all of a sudden, track is not clear.
You're looking at a guardrail.
So this should be, I believe, the last attempt at it.
Yeah, this is the very, very last attempt at keeping this thing under green flag condition for the checkered flag. We can either do exactly what we just had and have a caution, now end the race, or we'll get around one more time, the white flag, and then they can kill each other, but we won't see a caution, and checkered flag will end the race.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, if a caution comes out before the white, that ends the race. The next flag is going to end the race. If a caution does come out, ends it. If they take the white flag, everything is possible. Anything is legal. You're not going to see any sort of, caution comes out on the last lap. We're going to look at scoring review or anything like that. It's going to be a race to the line. So we've got 2 laps to go, and it looks like Bird is going to try the inside lane once again. You mentioned he might have been faking last time. It doesn't look like it this time around either, as he holds that bottom line. Chisholm looks to his top side. Ryan Bird trying to take his first win of the year. Dominic Chisholm to his outside. He's in the same boat. Justin Potter, not somebody we've talked about a whole heck of a lot this year, but he wants to break in as a winner. Ethan Smith, a lot of fans in the chat. We know they'd be happy to see him get the job done. Rounding out your top 5, Owen Joyce, who's had himself an up and down day. We've seen him at the back quite a bit, but sits in 5th. We've got 2 laps to decide it all. Ryan Bird on the gas. Green flag is out. Sideways is Potter. That's going to give Chisholm the chance to get down to the bottom. Chisholm looks up top. He's got a nose there up on the top side of Bird, but not quite enough to get the job done. Bird gets loose coming up off the corner. 1 up in the wall coming up off of 2. Not going to be enough to bring out a caution. We're coming around to take the white flag. Can Dominic Chisholm get to the back bumper of Ryan Bird? He looks up to the top side. Nothing doing there. He's got 1 more chance through 3 and 4. Little bit of a run. Bird gets down to the bottom. Chisholm looks up top. Gives it everything he's got. Here he comes. Ryan Bird is going to win at 5 flags to take the Snowball Derby over Dominic Chisholm. Justin Potter's in 3rd, and they are wrecking wildly after the checkered flag.
Yeah, I think everybody decided they wanted to get out with a bang here. They all wrecked coming to the line. But Potter held on right there. Oh my. Everyone. And by everyone, I mean everyone. Everyone but your top 2.
Take a moment to dissect what happened here on the last lap. We'll slow it down, but Ryan Bird gets the job done after 164, I believe 163 laps of this race. Gets it done after the 150 scheduled. Had to do a little bit extra, a little bit of overtime, but Ryan Bird takes away the victory here. Justin Potter side by side with Ethan Smith. These guys coming up off of turn number 4. Looks like Potter gets sideways. The 19 gets sideways. This might have actually been to take the white flag here. So we'll go back to regular speed before we get our race winner up into the chat. Wow, there's about 3 different incidents to bring that one out.
Well, the good news is at least it was after the checkered flag, and they all come out, and it's a virtual car, so don't have to pay the body shop anything.
No,
Don't
you
have to put
don't.
a
And
new motor in.
when it comes to paying anything, the guy with the biggest payday of the day is Ryan Bird, the number 49, your race winner here in the Blackjack Snowball Derby at Five Flags Speedway. Ryan, walk us through how that race went for you. You had a lot of defending to do in that second half.
Yeah, I mean, I got to give all the credit to my teammate Justin. It was his strategy call for us to take fuel as early as we did. Um, and he just that was the right call. Everybody pitted the lap after that. We had the fuel already, and from there it was just trying to make sure we burned the tires in the way we needed to and kept the car driving fine. Tried not to overdrive it with the pressure. And once Dominic got there, is you had to go, full out because he's no slouch.
You had three different green white checkers, but those were not the only restarts you had to deal with at 87 and 55. Walk us through what was going through your mind. Kind of, I guess, every time that caution came out, you knew you had to do it again.
Yeah, just it was about thinking about who was there and making sure that I was clear going into one. Obviously, with Justin there, you kind of time it and make sure I got down in front of him, and then we'd start racing. He wasn't giving me anything there, but the deal we had was we get down in turn one and then we race, and that worked out every time. And then once Dominic got there, it was just trying to make sure I did something different every time to keep him on his toes.
Rock on, Ryan. You put on a hell of a show here tonight. Is there anybody you want to thank for such a strong performance?
First off, all my teammates, Justin, Isaac, uh, Kyle Rochelle, Thomas Green, everybody that helps out with this, they've all taught me a good bit about driving these cars, especially Justin. Thank you to my girlfriend who puts up with racing on weekend nights whenever we could be doing anything else. But she's also the sponsor of this car, Tattoos by Polly, sponsor the LCQ whenever we get them. And thank you to all the admins. They work extremely hard. We all have full-time jobs outside of this, and this is like a second full-time job trying to keep up with all this. So they all work extremely hard to get this, to get this show on the road every week.
Well, Ryan, we appreciate you joining us up in here in the booth, and congratulations once again on a phenomenal win here. Getting the job done here in our first Crown Jewel event of the season. That's Ryan
Thank you,
Bird.
thank you.
Sorry. That's Ryan Bird, your race winner here at Five Flags Speedway. Next, we're going to bring in Dominic Chisholm, and I believe, Corey, you should be with Dominic right now.
Hey there, Dominic. You got a copy on me?
Yeah, what's up?
Well, man, you held on to second here. You kind of led there early on in the race, and got a little traffic. Talk us through that.
Yeah, well, we had a strong run at the beginning for sure. I gave up the lead because, he was charging. I didn't want to ruin my tires early on, so I let him go. Plan was just to stick in second, just chill, and then laps were winding down in our field. We had to pit for fuel. I didn't realize we were going to have this many cautions, so basically, we didn't really have to pit like the 49 did. He stayed out the whole race. But that pit kind of held us back, and then had to work our way up. And then got caught up on an incident at the end. Definitely didn't mean to get into the 55 car. I feel like I saved a bit more than he did, and I was kind of all over him this whole race. I was trying to keep off of him, and then eventually it just got, just a good entry into the corner, and I accidentally hit him. Definitely didn't mean to. I really apologize for that. I don't really know what to say over the radio, but I'm not that kind of driver. I don't wreck people like that. I just had a lot more momentum going through the corners. Overall, second place, I'm happy. I got second place last week, so still searching for that win, but we'll get it one day.
Well, there you have it. Like you said, you're searching for the win. They'll come to you one day. You got anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
definitely gotta thank that IRL sponsors, Coastal Car Care, Coastal Hemp, Switchables, and then you guys for hosting the show on YouTube. I believe got some viewers watching, and then the Super Late Model Tour for hosting the show, letting us race, giving us the opportunity, and the clean drivers out there letting us have a competitive race.
Well, there you have it, folks. Your second place driver, the 87 and Dominic Chisholm.
Thank you.
Looking to try to get our third place Justin Potter up into the booth, but it doesn't look like he is available for comment right now. So that might go ahead and do it for us here on Sim Racing Media. We're going to go ahead and go through your finishing results here and final thoughts, but unfortunately can't get with your third place finisher, Justin Potter. So your feature results go Ryan Bird, Dominic Chisholm, and Justin Potter rounding out your podium. Then we've got Ethan Smith, Aaron Kralik, Braxton DeWeese pulls away a sixth place finish. Justin Sipes, Owen Joyce, Zach Jursic, Mason Cassidy, Philip York, Dakota Moniz, Todd Lamphere, Danny Cochran, Thomas Walter, Sean Huffstetler, Rob Hattenbach, Billy Cassidy, then Kyle Rochelle, Isaac Shelley, Jim Duda, Ethan Burke, and Curtis Hedden rounding out the field. Well, Corey, I know it was definitely a lot to take in for your first time here with the Virtual American Short Track Tour, but kind of, what are your thoughts here leaving Pensacola, Florida with the Five Flag Speedway race in the books?
Well, you know, I had a lot of fun up here and looked like a lot of fun out there on the racetrack. And, you know, a little bit caution heavy, but it is short track racing. It's to be expected, you know?
Yeah, it definitely is, and these green-white checkers making this race the longest of the season. Definitely fall into what you're talking about with the cautions there, but these guys put on a hell of a show here once again, and Ryan Bird able to take away the checkered flag here. That's going to do it for us here, Sim Racing Media at Five Flag Speedway for the Virtual American Short Track Tour. The Blackjack Snowball Derby goes to Ryan Bird. We'll catch you next time, and if you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell. We've got phenomenal racing 7 nights a week. Go ahead and hit that bell so you don't miss a race. I'm Liam Irvig with Corey B up in the booth. We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks once again for tuning in.